Well, just over a month after a Hamilton boy was hit and killed by a city bus, his parents are calling on the province to improve school supports for special needs kids. CTV's Allison Hurst is following the story and joins us live with the latest from Queen's Park. Allison, good afternoon. What did you hear from the family of the boy today?
Good afternoon, Bakari. So they had a lot to say. They talked a lot about that awful day in their lives. On December 11th, our viewers may recall there was a tragic crash where a 7-year-old boy, Max Simao, was getting off of a city bus, and he slipped and fell in front of the bus with his mom. He was hit, and he tragically died in that time. So his family talked to us about that, but said that his mom had been picking him up from school that afternoon early before the school day was done because he has special needs, and he had lost his EA in October, so he was on a modified schedule. They said had his school been able to have him there, that this never would have happened, and he shouldn't have died in the first place. And so that was what really brought them out today, was to talk about that and talk about all the thousands of kids in this province that they're aware of, but also the Ontario Autistic Coalition has put data together about how many kids are missing out on full days of school. They said that in 2023-2024 school year and the 2024-2025 school years, 33% of children with special needs are not having a full school day. And last year, according to this data, that there were 6% of kids with special needs who weren't going to school at all. And so Max was impacted by this. He lost his EA late October. He was on this modified schedule, and his parents were advocating for him, trying to get him back on full days. They kept being told, they're working on it, they're trying, and it just hadn't happened yet. Here's a little bit more from his parents.
Despite us repeatedly asking when Max could return to full-day school, we were told it was being sorted out. To be clear, we do not blame the school or the Hamilton Wentworth District School Board. We know that they are doing their best and to support students with disabilities like Max. But with their limited resources, it's difficult. We've come to learn that exclusions like this are very common across the province and are a direct result of chronic underfunding that tends to affect students with special needs the most. So on Thursday, in the middle of the day, Max was not where he had a right to be, and that is why we are here today.
So you hear they're talking about the reasons why they wanted to come forward. And so they were there alongside with the Ontario Autistic Coalition. Also, the leader of the official opposition, Marit Stiles, was also there. She spoke as well. And there was an earlier news conference with the Premier, Doug Ford, where he was asked about this situation, about what had happened, and about investing in public education. So I want to play you both his response and then Marit Stiles' response after what she had to say about his answer.
Why hasn't your government ensured students with special education needs can attend school full-time?
Well, actually, let me just go back to the Liberal government when they were in power, and it was in the first month that I was in office that the whole system had no money. They didn't have anything. They weren't investing. It was approximately about $200 million. We've increased funding to $700 million to families. It's going to be, as I always say, it's continuous improvement. But we're funding more than any government in the history of our province, and we're going to continue to fund it.
I don't expect much from this Premier. He's not a serious Premier, and he's shown us what he thinks. Because with his actions, he has all the power. I mean, look at the size of this government's budget. And they can't make sure that every child can go to school. I think that he has had 8 years, and I am so sick and tired of the excuses. It's not as if they weren't warned. These people have been coming here for 8 years.
So, Bakari, as you can imagine, for Chris and Emily Simao, they had to change their entire lives to try and support Max, to make sure he could get home from school, and there was somebody home to be with him and look after him in those moments. And what the Ontario Autistic Coalition was talking about was saying that there are a lot of parents in this exact same position, Bakari.
Okay, live from Queen's Park, CTV's Allison Hurst.